previous session, children, we understood how does the sound travel, and also understood that it requires a medium for its propagation, and sound travels in air medium, sound travels through solids and liquids as well. And we also learned how the voice box or the larynx works and how are we able to produce the sound. In today's session, we shall understand how are we able to hear the sound. Now, you are able to hear the sound. Daily life we hear, every second we hear lots of sounds. That too, if you are driving or if you are out, you hear various sounds at a time. You are able to, and you are able to differentiate them. That is the main point. Is no, by listening to the sound, you can say which bird is making the sound, which animal is making the sound, or even you can recognize your family member's voice, whether it is your mother who is talking or whether it is your aunt who is talking at the home. Even sometimes when you pick the phone without seeing, also by listening to the voice you can make out who has called, who it is. And even if you're just listening to the music of your favorite music player or from the favorite musician, even though you're not looking at them, somewhere some far away also, if you're hearing or listening to their music, you can easily recognize this is the player who is singing, or this is the musician or the singer who is singing. How are we able to do so? How can we so easily recognize? All that we shall be learning in today's session. How do we hear sound is the question. We hear sound mainly through the important and the very sensitive sense organ, that is the ear. Ear is the sense organ which enables us to hear the sound. The ear is, children, you can see we have an opening here in the ear and we have a canal there, and inside we have various tiny soft and delicate parts inside the ears. Maybe there is a bones, eardrum, everything. So it is as and when you pass through the canal, as we pass through the canal, there is a thin membrane called the eardrum. It is called eardrum. What is eardrum? It is a thin membrane. It is a thin membrane which is present in the ear. Whenever sound waves travel and hit the eardrum, pass through the canal and hits the eardrum, children, the eardrum will vibrate and in turn pass through the signal or the sound to the inner part of the ear, which consists of soft tiny bones. Three bones will be present, called the tympanic bone, cochlea and all, children. You will be studying all that in higher classes. So, and finally the signals will be passed on to the brain, and the brain will interpret the signal and helps you in recognizing as well as differentiating the sound waves. This is what the process which takes place. Sound initially enters your ear, pass through the canal, and finally hits a thin membrane called the eardrum. So when this eardrum vibrates, due to that, what will happen is eardrum vibrates and then pass on to the signal to the inner part of the ear. From inner part of the ear, the signals will be sent to the brain and the brain will interpret the voice or the signal. It will recognize, children. That is how this ear works. It is a simple explanation given to you. In detail, you will be studying in the higher class. I already said you that sound travels in the form of waves, isn't it? Sound travels in the form of waves. And I also said you the height of the wave is called amplitude. The height of the wave is called amplitude. In your lower class, you have studied about the oscillatory motion, isn't it, children? Oscillatory motion or oscillation. To understand oscillatory motion, I will consider one example. For the support, I will tie a string and I will tie an iron ball to the string, to the thread. What I do is, I just pull the ball towards me, that is towards this end, and leave it. I will just pull the ball and leave it, release it. What will happen? The ball starts to go to that end and come back to me. Goes to that end and come back to me. That is what it happens. It is going and coming back to first position, going and coming back. Of course, the string also will move, don't get confused, okay. So this type of motion is called the to and fro motion. Where have we come across this word to and fro? By studying about the definition of vibration, isn't it? The to and fro or the back and forth motion is called the vibration. The results in vibration. Hangane children, the to and fro motion here is called the oscillatory motion, and this process is called oscillation. Similar to this, one more example if you want to imagine, in Wonderland Dasara exhibition you have seen the big boat called the Columbus. It's also called the Titanic boat. Yes, so you can have fun sitting in it. Jolly ride in the boat. It keeps goes oscillatory motion, to and fro motion it will undergo. So here now I said initially I will pull the ball towards me. How I may pull it a little and leave it, or I may pull up to this distance and leave it. So how much I am pulling from its initial position? This is the initial position. This distance, how much I pull? This is also called the amplitude in case of oscillatory motion. And when I release, what will happen, children? I will note down the time also. Say in a minute. In a minute, how many times this will undergo oscillatory motion, I want to check. For that, what I do is when I pull the string and release, it will go and come back to you. It will go to that side, come back to you. As and when it goes and comes back to you, you should take the count as 1. Like it will go and come back to you. 1. Matte hogatta baratte. 2. It will go and come back to you. 3. Like that, 1 minute you note down how many times it came to you. Andre how many times it underwent oscillation. So in a minute, say suppose for example, it underwent 20 oscillation. This number we got now, children, 20, that is called its frequency. That is called it frequency. So in case of oscillatory motion, how many times it oscillated in a minute, we find it out and we called it frequency. But when you consider it with respect to a sound wave, how do you say? Means the number of sound waves produced in a second is called frequency. Number of sound waves produced in a second is called frequency, and its unit, SI unit, is hertz, represented by capital H and small letter Z, children. Unit of frequency is hertz. And I already said you that the upper part of the wave is called crest and the lower part is called the trough. And the distance between any two waves is wavelength, represented by the Greek letter lambda. So these are the few basic terms which you will have to remember about the sound waves. Sound travels in the form of waves. The height of the wave is called the amplitude. The upper part of the wave is called the crest. The lower part of the wave is called the trough. Number of waves produced in a second is called its frequency, and its SI unit is hertz. Okay, now next you have about time period. Next topic we have it about the loudness and the pitch. What is loudness and what is pitch? You might have, you know what is loudness, no doubt. Speak out loud, speak soft, all that we say, you use in daily life. What is pitch means, that also you might have heard, children. Musicians especially a different pitch. I talk at different pitch, you talk at different pitch, means different. When I talk, the sound heard is different. When you talk, the sound heard is different. So each sound wave has its own pitch of vibration. I'm sorry. So that is about the loudness and pitch. To understand this in better way, there is an activity given in your textbook. What it is, under children, they ask you to take a tumbler and in the tumbler take a spoon. Take a spoon and hit the tumbler hardly with the spoon. What will happen? It will obviously produce the sound, and you can see the vibration at the mouth of the tumbler. When you do so, you just take a thermocol ball, tie it to the string and hold the string here near to the tumbler, mouth of the tumbler. Now again hit the spoon hardly to the tumbler. So when you do so, the tumbler will produce this sound, means in turn it is vibrating. That vibration will push the thermocol ball to some distance and it will start moving. Means in turn it will undergo oscillation. Means it is not like beautiful oscillation motion, it is undergoing a little movement you can see. The harder you hit, the distance moved by the thermocol ball is more, children. I already explained you. The harder you hit, the louder you hear. So amplitude also depends on that. I said if you are shouting, the amplitude is more. High waves. If you are talking softly, the high amplitude will be less of the wave. Hangene, how the harder you hit, the harder will be distance moved by the thermocol ball which is tied to the string. Here, why are they explaining this? This means in order to explain the concept of pitch, that is what you have given here. And after that activity, they have given, see how far the ball is displaced, they are asking. So the displacement of the ball is completely dependent on with what force you are hitting the tumbler so that it is producing large sound or louder sound. That is about the loudness. Much explanation is not required. You know what is loudness and all. Can you measure this loudness? Have you ever thought how much your screaming can be measured? How much you scream, how much your brother scream? It can be measured. How means? It has also unit, children. It is decibel. Capital D, small letter B. Decibel. Decibel is the unit of sound. It is the measure of loudness of the sound. In your textbook, they have given here in this column, normal breathing has sound of 10 decibel. Even when you inhale and exhale, the lungs are situated on the layer called diaphragm. You have studied that in biology. It will expand, compress, children. So the sound produced there is the 10 decibel of sound is produced even when you breathe. You can hear the breathing even if it is utter silence is there. You can sense the breathing. You can hear to it. You can hear breathing sound. So it produces sound of 10 decibel, means it is very small. Next, the soft whisper at around 5 meter distance. If your friend is speaking to you standing at the distance of 5 meter and whisper, the sound produced is some 30 decibel it seems. Normal conversation. Now a bit loudly only I am talking. Normal conversation if we do, it will produce a sound of 60 decibel. Busy traffic. Look now, the sound, the construction is going on nearby my apartment here, and always the digging sound, the borewell they are digging, so that sound is there. So you can measure how much decibel it is. If it is too loud, that is more, maybe 60, 80, 100 decibel, like that it is. So it varies, children. So in busy traffic, continuous horn, that sound and all, if you listen, 70 decibel it is. And average factory, that siren, that sound from factory, that machine sound and all, what you hear is 80 decibel, children. So up to this 80 decibel sound which is audible to you is normal and safe to your ear. If at all the sound wave reaching your ears crosses the sound of 80 decibel, then it is harmful for your ears to say. Shortly we finish with Deepavali festival. It is a festival of sound and light. So you burn crackers. This time, due to this COVID, they said not to burn the crackers, but still many of them burned the crackers and they celebrated the festival, of course. Why did they say that? Is let it not disturb the patients, corona patients, those are suffering, let it not disturb, and of course let the environment does not get spoiled. It will cause loss of sound pollution and air pollution, burning of crackers, isn't it, children? So it was said not to burn the crackers. Why? Because that loud sound of crackers, it crosses the 80 decibel of sound sometimes. So it is harmful for the ears, and of course it will disturb the patients at home as well as at the hospital, kids at home and aged patients at home. So burning of crackers are usually not advisable. Now, so above 80 decibel, the noise becomes physically painful. So now if you put a soothing, nice music, melodious music, it will be happy to hear. But you people will like the rock music. If you put, so if at all old people are there at your home, maybe your grandparents, what type of music is that? Put some nice music, no, play some nice music, they will tell you. So they may not like that sound. Like that it differs, children. So the loudness of sound depends on its amplitude, of course. What is amplitude? I said to you, the height of the wave. If you are screaming, high waves. If you are talking softly, low waves are produced. Like that, amplitude completely depends on the sound you are making. When the amplitude is small, the sound is feeble. Andre almost kelsi kamme agbidutte anta hentara, that is feeble or soft sound. Compare the sound of a baby with that of an adult. Is there any difference? Of course there is difference. So all this difference in sound, when I talk, when you talk, when the kid talk, when the grandparents talk, there is difference. When the old aged people talk, no, their voice box, no, vocal cords will become weak as and when you grow old, children. So what will happen is, if you talk too much, you cannot strain yourself, so your voice cannot be heard louder as and when you grow old. That is one thing. Next, the frequency determines the shrillness or pitch of a sound. I already said you what is frequency, the number of waves produced in a second. Pitch means the sharp sound. Now, if you will be sitting calmly and reading for test, what your younger brother or sister achanak say, what you say, by chance, by mistake, drops the tumbler, how irritated you feel, isn't it? Suddenly you will be sitting calmly and watching your favorite movie, say, I will burst the cracker beside you. Won't you get irritated? So the pitch is more there. Instead, you will be doing some busy work. Your favorite musicians or your favorite singer's song, movie song, whichever song you want, if you play, you feel so relaxed. Wow, so nice. Sometimes when you feel so stressed or you feel too tired or you feel bored, children, just listen to the music. Now, music therapy is there for a few people who are more stressed and all, no, they give music therapy. Why? Because the brain will calm down, and the nerves of the brain, if they are stressed out now, children, it soothes, it calms down on listening to the music. And even the water therapy, that is the waterfall sound, all that, no, it is very good for health, in the sense for your brain if it is stressed or something like that. So pitch means if it is the sharp sound, then it is the pitch is high. If it is a soft sound, the pitch is low, and it is depending on frequency of the wave, they are telling. That is the number of waves produced in a second. So pitch means high pitch means more number of waves is produced. Pitch is low and the frequency kammi andre less number of waves are produced in a second. That way you have to understand. Pitch jasti andre frequency jasti. Pitch kammi andre frequency kammi ಇದೆ ಅಂತ it is understood. That is what they are telling, and they are giving few examples to understand that. Like when you hit a drum, suppose you're beating the drum in the school band set you have. When you hit the bass drum, the sound produced is low. Of course, it is louder. I'm not talking about loudness here, but I'm talking about the pitch of sound, children. There is difference between loudness and pitch. Loudness alli high loudness or slow soft. Pitch alli I'm talking about the frequency of the wave. Sharp sound, smooth sound anta. So pitch, when I am talking about, the pitch produced by the bass drum is low, whereas when you play a whistle, when your PE teacher blows the whistle, no, it will be too high pitch sound. Wherever you are, you will come and stand in the place whenever your PE sir blows the whistle. If he is hitting the drum, will you hear? Will the people wherever they are in the classroom and all, you will be sitting though called to the field. Sometimes, so if he signals you by beating the bass drum, will you hear and come running? No. In the place, if he just blows the whistle, wherever you are, you come stand in attention. Isn't it, children? So the pitch produced by the whistle is higher compared to the bass drum beat. Similarly, when you hear to the different sounds made by the birds, few birds have high pitch sound whereas few have low pitch sound. Even if you are learning the music, or your cousins or your sister, brother, whoever it is, they are learning the music to children, ask them about the pitch. Or if you are learning the music, you only will be having the knowledge. High pitch, low pitch antala they will talk. So high pitch means singing in high pitch, singing in low pitch, swarasthana variation they tell. So all that is about the pitch. See, everywhere you have physics. Wow, so nice of this subject, physics, isn't it, children? Next, one more example andre. Now, if a bird makes some sound, it is high pitch sound. At the same time, if the lion roars, is it a high pitch sound? No, it is a low pitch sound. Compared to the roaring of lion, the sound made by the bird is of high pitch. Like this, you can go on comparing the high pitch and the low pitch sounds in various day-to-day life examples. So this is about the loudness and pitch. It is very simple. You can put it in your own words and even you can put your own examples as well. So this is about the loudness and pitch. Next, what you have in your textbook is, children, audible and inaudible sounds. Audible means what? Sounds which you are able to hear are audible. Sounds which you cannot hear are inaudible sounds.